At this moment, I think we're in a good space in terms of the competitiveness of the league. I mean, this is the second time in succession where we have such a tight league. I don't even know how many points separate bottom from top, but it's more like a pack of a bottom team, a bottom group, a middle group, and a top group. But it's really, really close.
In a sense, though, because what I see from the outside is a lot of teams. Basically, there's nobody that's kind of pushing themselves up. Danny Tom being one of the teams that they are in that position, but every game is competitive in a sense that no one's really kind of distancing themselves, which tends to happen around this time.
But you do, I mean, you will get the cream tends to rise to the top in the business part of the season. I'm expecting to see it, or I should say I'm hoping to see it. I'm hoping to see the difference because to me that is somewhat of a problem. It seems like we have a tendency right now that the pack tends to draw the top players in with it.
Right, as opposed to reverse.
As opposed to the top players showing themselves on a week in and week out basis. So I think that their doors show sort of a problem or it could be better in that sense for the viewer.
Right.
I don't know what you think, Danny, because you're in it right now as a player, and Dandytown is to me one of the more consistent teams to watch. If I go watch again, mind you, I haven't watched you guys. I have to watch my team, but I mean, when I go watch a Dandytown game, it's usually one of the better flows of football, I would say.
I really didn't want to get into this because my team is so far ahead right now. Got a little cushion, but I feel that the top 4 or 5 teams are playing some good football, knocking the ball around at times. It should be a close season. The bottom teams are shaping up to be a tight race. There are some teams that started off pretty good. Colts and Robin Hood is sort of keeping it up. Colts are dying off a little bit, but I see it being a nice season, a tight race at the top and at the bottom.
To be fair with you, I watched the 2 games over the holiday. Actually, it was 3 of them. 2 semifinals and a final. I watched the semifinal with PHC and North Village, and I watched the final of Somerset. And both of them, in my opinion, were really good games. As a spectator, I saw some good football. I saw some exciting stuff, and it was some good crowds, to be honest.
Yeah,
really
definitely. Running big crowds, getting people to come to more football games. We definitely see a rise in players playing. So we just need to try and get more crowds to the games. People come out, so you can raise the level of football in Bermuda.
So how can we get people to come out? You had an article the other day talking about we have to get the crowd coming back to the games. The people that have kind of fell away from the games coming back to the games. For me, a lot of the crowd is the football. If it's good football every week in, week out, then you know what I mean. I want to pay my money to go to this game because I know I'm going to be entertained by the game. So that's one half of it, and then the other half is the atmosphere. I've actually talked to a couple of older people since that article came out, and most of them tell me they don't want to go to a game because the atmosphere that is at the game, whether it be smoking, whether it be something else, is not conducive to why they want to go to the game, which is to watch football.
I mean that's fair enough, but I understand that, and I said that I understand that the atmosphere sometimes is not ideal. I always ask a person who tells me that, when was the last time they actually went to a game? Right. You can't make a judgment on if you're not going. And even if you've been once or twice, if I go to watch a particular team or player once or twice, I may go only 1 or 2 times that they play bad. So I can't give a fair assessment of what's going on. And the same is the truth with the environment. If I only go once or twice, then how can I really make a fair assessment of what's going on? But I do understand that people, it's part of the product. If you're paying, then you expect to see a certain product. But I think it still goes back to the fact that, like Damon said, if you have more of a crowd, then the
Yeah,
players have a,
something to play for.
so it's cyclical, right? Because the players will play better if there's more people out, but more people will come out if the play. So where do you break the cycle is the question, and who wants to take it on? My point is that it's beneficial for everyone involved in the sport, and it's beneficial to the sport if both sides take the responsibility on. That's my only point. My point is that everyone should take a responsibility
in the movement of it.
in the progression of the game.
Stephanie, I feel that a lot of the older players from back in the day that used to be top players, I feel that they should come around more often to clubs trainings and give a little history on the club so that the younger players coming through know some of the history and know what the badge means, what the club means. I feel that a lot of players don't know the history, so they don't really play with the hard it is. So I feel that if more of these top players from back in the day came out to watch them at the games, to critique them, to give them positive feedback where they improve, I feel that would go a long way into helping the game.
That's an excellent point. I want to talk like the history of it. That to me is again the catalyst or the motivation that I have for doing it. There's so much history in our local sport of football that a lot, like you said, a lot of the younger guys, they don't know, and they won't know if they don't go searching out for it. And I mean, to be honest, who's going to just do that? But we did that a couple of times. But as a player, if we were going through some struggles as a team during the, and Village has some high expectations, so you dropped 6 points or something, and it's crisis mode, and they would set up situations where the older guys come to training sessions, or even come to have breakfast with the elders before a game, a big match, and then go through the Uncle Sherman, I'll call him that, the president of North Village, or the former president of North Village, had a ridiculous scrapbook.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine how excited it will make a young player when he starts seeing, sometimes his father in a picture when his father's 21 years old.
And it's funny you talk about history. I was talking to Clyde Bass a little while ago, and he was talking about how he feels as though, his generation, the generation right underneath him, have kind of hidden the history, because everyone in football is trying to keep everything to themselves, whether it be tactics with coaches. This is my style of football.
Sure.
And one thing he said that stood out to me is that football is a generational game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For generations, people have been playing football, so football don't really belong to anyone.
Yeah.
Right now, it's belonging to Messi, for instance. It used to belong to Ronaldinho, it belongs to everybody. And so people keep trying to hold information and kind of say, this is mine, it's dear to my heart, when we should be kind of expressing it to everybody, so everybody knows your history. So, for instance, Silver City, Somerset League, when we grew up, we knew about that when I was playing for Wolves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I feel now it's more, this is a Village team, this is a Wolves team, this is a Deniton team, as opposed to this is a football league. You know what I mean?
Like a little football community.
So before it used to be people appreciated other clubs for what they brought to the table. You knew certain clubs brought certain elements to the table.
Sure.
And I think now everyone's kind of holding on for something. I don't know what it is, but we're not expressing it to everybody. You know what I mean?